Greetings, Earthlings, and welcome to our research facility, so humbly dubbed the Zayton Academy for Human Studies. As some of you may know, but just in case you're new here, our station is currently populated by only about 7 Zaytons, being we few that you see in front of you. But in today's episode, my friends, we will be increasing our population exponentially so, to the point that we will no longer have any issues with manpower. And our true research on the Earth and its people will begin by kidnapping quite a few of them. And in doing so, we will have finished the construction of our station 100%, as well as turning it into a true hub of Zayton activity in the system. We've already got our testing and operating rooms complete. We've had them for quite some time, and they have been vacant for quite some time. Oh, well, all except for our old pal Rusty here. He was our very first test subject. How could we forget? We've recently come into contact with another alien species, lizard-skinned bastards, who like to give humanity a second chance. It was a whole ordeal, and they accidentally damaged one of our craft right before we murdered them viciously. So right now we're beginning with some repairs before we head back to the surface. Once these were finally completed, though, Squirt, one of our Zayton clones, and Ace, one of our Zayton, well, clones, who happens to be a trooper, not just any Zayton, ready for combat at a moment's notice, will be taking the ship back down to the planet's surface to find us some of these much-needed test subjects, landing in what is sure to have been a once great pinnacle of human civilization, a bustling city, now reduced to ashes and elements. Truth be told, whatever Earthling we find here to take back with us will honestly be getting quite the favor from the Zayton Empire. This place is an absolute dump. The ship sensors are picking up a couple of heat signatures in all this rubble and debris. Perhaps we may have just come across a couple of possible subjects. We're going to be sending in Ace since he is our trooper. For hours on end, throughout the dark and stormy night, he would continue searching this destroyed city until eventually we found what we were looking for. Those heat signatures we were picking up were a human and their heater keeping them warm. We quickly destroyed their automated defenses and began to attempt to capture them, to which the Earthling would fight back with her primitive ballistic weapon, which didn't end up too well for her as we burned off both of her arms with our laser rifle. And yet, she still would persist. Alas, these self-destructive primates never know when to quit. All that fighting, all that effort, and yet you will still be coming back to our station. I've said it before, but this type of gumption is exactly why these beasts must be studied. We ever so quickly stowed her away on the ship and stripped her of her armor. We don't need her getting any wild ideas, now do we? Hopefully with some time we'll be able to break her spirit and her mind. And in the meantime, we are going to collect a little bit of resources. I have a few things back at the station that I'd like to work on that require steel and components. And this is easier than purchasing them. Although, that being said, I do currently have a project in mind on the station that does require a few things we can't mine on the Earth's surface. Once we had acquired some of these exotic resources, we would end up building ourselves a cloaking device. Not only is this a device that will be able to cloak the entire station, but it will also be able to cloak any of the ships that we end up docking to the station as well, keeping us out of sight and out of mind of the other alien races who might be patrolling in the sector. We Zaytons prefer to do our horrible experimentations on lesser life forms without being seen by some folk, if you know what I mean. However, if worst comes to worst and we are spotted and detected once more, we're also going to be building some new large lasers onto the station, adding on to the 6 or 8, I think, that we already have. Not only will these additional weapon systems be perfect for defense and offense against any other enemy alien ships, but as we well know, they will be perfect for orbital bombardments on any surface targets of the Earth as well. We'll be seeing some of that a little bit later. As for right now, it would seem that we have finally enslaved our human subject. You see, we've tuned our translators to her primitive barbaric language, now allowing us not only to understand her, but she seems to be able to understand our commands, thanks to Rusty and his vocal cords before he died. Apparently, she thinks her friends in some type of republic will come to save her soon. You poor, dumb, simple creature. That's exactly what we are hoping for. Imagine the people we could capture. Assuming we don't kill them, of course. Well, with a potential large war party of humans arriving within the next few days, I thought it might be a good idea if we went ahead and expended some of the steel and other resources we've been collecting here in this area on a couple of small plasma turrets to go along with our large ones, just in case. And in the meantime, while we're waiting, I thought back at the station this could be the perfect time for us to start a bit more cloning. The issue, though, we only have 3 growing vats. We need many, many more. Thankfully, using the resources we currently have at our disposal, it wouldn't take long at all for us to build up a couple of designated cloning bays. With the next generation of Zetans being so important to us, they are going to be very close to the center of the research station. That way they are extremely safe here. And the reason that this is so crucial as well is because, well, if we die at the surface due to these filthy, barbaric humans and the like, we'll be able to continue the Zetan supremacy in this system regardless. Now then, we have every single one of our vats primed with DNA and the growing process has already started. Even with our accelerators, this process can still take a little bit of time, so in the never mind, it would seem that we have visitors. It seems that our human that we had captured was indeed right. Her friends from her republic have come to save her. Little do they know, it doesn't matter how well armed or armored that they are. They're facing down the greatest aliens this side of the cosmos. Alright, how about we turn them all into holes in the ground with our ship's weapon systems? Open fire. Our first barrage was pretty promising, and our second even more so. Our third was the third and final, forcing them to flee before our trooper even had to take action. Although we would still chase down the members of this republic to try to take as many as we could. Unfortunately, it seems that we only have a couple to take back to the station for research purposes, but that's a couple more than we've had before, so that's fine. Just as well, we also have some brand new human technology that we had never spotted before that we can examine and perhaps even take apart and use for our own purposes. This appears to be some type of advanced battery. Shocking, given its creators. Try not to look so glum, little missy. If it makes you feel any better, they literally had next to no chance of saving you. At all. Anywho, we finally returned back to the station with all of our brand new test subjects, and we got them settled into their new rooms. I hope everyone's nice and comfy. Get to know one another. Perhaps discuss with Rusty. Just kidding, he's dead. Which is where the rest of you are going to be wishing that you were here in just a few short days. For right now, it's time for our experimentation to truly begin. First things first, we're gonna need a blood sample from everyone, because if you guys were to die, we could use this to make some clones of you to continue our experimentations. Did I say if you die? I meant when you die. We'll also be getting quite familiar with your human anatomy and seeing how we can alter it, so to speak. However, perhaps one of the most important procedures we'll be performing is the mimeographics procedure. This is going to allow us to basically steal all of your memories. That way we can learn about your culture and what you bastards have become since nuking yourselves. Let's see. Rat Roach, what is that? Nuka-Cola. I'm pretty sure they had that before the bombs. It would seem that even after 200 years, you things have barely changed at all. Still bloodthirsty and focusing on such minute, foolish things. Well, on the bright side, we'll at least be able to test out our brand new device on none other than Rusty. Yep, that rotten corpse with hardly any skin on its bones, we just brought him back to life. I could try to explain it to you, but just kind of chalk it up to space technology shit, okay? Oh, you thought we let him die by accident? Well, we did. We actually did. But we didn't care because we were going to bring him back to life so that we could see the effects of resurrection sickness from this device, as we are right now. Funny enough, Rusty here is going to be one of our longest running experiments to date. Not only did we let him die and let his corpse sit while we were in cryosleep after the humans nuked their own planet, but we're bringing him back to life, and we're going to be putting a special chip in his brain so that we can track him, among other things. And eventually, once he's ready for it, we're going to be taking him back to the planet to be monitored by us, in secret of course. Now then, while he's recovering, we're going to go ahead and build a few medical devices. That way we don't have all of our subjects bleeding out on us while we're digging around in their brains for memories or just for funsies. And while these surgeries and experiments are being performed, we are also going to be attempting to resurrect as well as reprogram their basic mechanoids. We've had them for quite some time, and I thought, why the hell not, right? Surely it couldn't be that hard. They are made by humans, after all. Now, I really want to go back down to the surface to get even more humans for us to do these experiments and surgeries on, but I really also want to maybe do a great big experiment where we test out all of our weapon systems on some humans. And so we need more weapons, so we built some very large railgun cannons that we can indeed, yes, use to fire at the surface as well. I think these are going to be very fun. And great for testing, of course. Yes, very, very necessary. With our station basically complete by this point, we also need a few more modes of transportation. That way, all of our upcoming Zetan clones will be able to travel to the surface anytime they so choose on some more missions. One ship is fine and can hold quite a few of us, but it would really be great if all of us had our own individual ships. A fleet, if you will. Now, this model of, well, let's call it a UFO, I suppose, for your basic human minds, but it's going to be designed off of our previous ship that we have been using, just a little bit smaller, with really only enough room for a crew of one. They're going to be cheap in terms of resources, small in terms of resources, and also size, of course, which is going to make them the perfect expendable vehicles. That being said, I would very much prefer not to lose any, obviously. I'm going to be testing out our very first and seeing what adjustments need to be made. In the meantime, the crew back aboard the station, along with experimenting and what have you, will be building up the rest of the fleet, or at least the very bare bones of the fleet. And by this time, all of our clones were finally finished growing and ready for action. The perfect crew for all of these new vessels that we're creating. Welcome to the world, all you handsome devils. While we're working on some proper EVA suits for all of our new clones, though, it looks like the human mechanoids have been reprogrammed, and we have also stripped all of their coding and data to our own database. I think we should be able to sell these two relics on the intergalactic market as, well, antiques of an ancient world now lost. But enough about all this boring shit. Our young clone Bucky here is spry and ready for action. We're actually going to be sending him back down to the planet's surface in none other than our brand new prototype ship, not only to test its systems, but also to maybe find us a few more humans to experiment on and to capture, yada yada yada, the same stuff I've been yapping about this entire time. Really, I'm just getting a hankering to kill something, and I think it'd be a good bit of fun. We would end up landing at what we thought was a human base. Although these large, muscular green giants barely resemble humanity at all. We've seen humans, we've seen ghouls, we've seen rad roaches and deathclaws, and yet we've never seen such a mutated freak like this. Alright, so I have already called in the orbital bombardment from the station with all of our weapons beaming down on these areas. Hopefully... So, the two things I'm hoping for... and I'm also going to use our weapon systems here to attack them. Hopefully we hit them and kill them. The majority of their forces seem to be over here. We have about 12 super mutants in Nightkin, Up here we only have one, although there's probably more inside their little base here. It is quite small, so hard to tell. However, I am beaming down over here towards them, and I've also set coordinates to attack the base. My hope is that we don't hit ourselves, because we don't have a shield generator, and that we can manage to kill a vast majority of them, but not so many that we don't have some to study. That being said, let us beam. That was really corny. Alright, that being said, let us, bombard. It looks... Oh, there it is. Alright. Oh, man. Okay, so we're definitely hitting them pretty good, but we are getting a little bit close to the ship. A lot closer. Okay, thank God. We did not hit our own ship here. Oh, my God. I don't think... Yeah, we haven't hit up here yet. I think we're getting ready to. We're gonna have to... what are we gonna have to do here? They're a little bit too close for our plasma turrets to hit them. We might be able to call in some more orbital bombardment. We've already hit them with a few, but... Oh, there we go. Yeah, we're gonna have to think of something to do here before they tear it open. I should have packed this little fellow a weapon, and I didn't. You know what? It actually might be best if we just leave. I don't think we're gonna get any test subjects of super mutants here, as we've completely obliterated them. Perhaps next time we only call down a fraction of the power from the station. That might be best. They are getting ready to come in on us. Let's go ahead and get the hell out of here. Damn these mutants. We're getting those oh yeah, we killed our last test subject. Yeah, there's no chance of that. Alright, let's leave. Okay, so I have some really bad news. For whatever reason, these engines, the electric engines, are not working. I cannot seem to get it to launch at all. Which is a huge problem, as I'm sure you could guess. These super mutants are gonna break in here and they're gonna rip this thing apart, and they're probably going to murder us. We've got more orbital bombardments. We need to get the hell out of here. We are leaving immediately. Holy, go, 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 go. He's trying to get us. I'm just gonna let them have the ship. It's a massive, massive loss, especially in resources. Thankfully, super mutants being who they are, they shouldn't be able to reverse engineer it. But, yeah, we're gonna have to take the L here. These electric engines, kind of worked, and now they're not at all. My fault for playing with outdated mods, but they look so cool. They just don't work at all. Oh, God, this breaks my heart to see this, by the way. It does. It really does. Dang, I wish there was a way that we could stop. You know what? Actually, we could. We're still gonna take the loss on the ship, but we could prevent them from having it. I'm just gonna head up this way and hide in the corner over here. That way I don't get hurt, of course. We're gonna call down the full weight of the mothership, the station. Hold on to your panties, Earthlings. Yeah, I think that'll do it. One great big concentrated beam burning it all to smithereens. The only thing they could really use it for now is maybe some slag. Although upon our rescue mission of the young clone Bucky, we would also engage the ship's plasma turrets to get rid of some of the unwanted collectors of what we had left, as well as what was left of the ship. Good luck salvaging anything from that heap of smoldering trash. And now we head back into the stars. I'm thankful that we didn't lose young Bucky there. I would have hated to have had to have recloned him that quickly. Alas, the lives of expendable interstellar aliens. We would redock with the station, and by the time that we had arrived, our fleet was finally finished. And with this fleet of ships, we shall own the skies and the stars and the heavens above the planet of Earth. And we shall use them to do many, many different things upon the planet itself and to its people, any time we so choose. And don't worry, I was sure to fix that little engine problem that we were having with our first prototype. No more of those electric engines. We're going straight nuclear power from here on out. I know, a bit primitive, but sometimes the old ways are the best ways. Now then, we're going to be going back to the surface once more with our clone Jackson and all 3 of our troopers. We're going to be well prepared to collect any test subjects or to murder any test subjects as well this time around. We are once more going to be landing at a super mutant base. I really want to add some of them to our collection. Look, I realize I said I wasn't going to bring down the full might of the station this time around so we'd have more survivors, but I think the super mutants could take it. Besides, that was just, I don't know, 3/4 of our power. And look, we still have a few that we can blast and to possibly even capture, right? Besides, in a world like this, they'll hardly notice a great big laser coming from the skies, causing a gigantic forest fire for an entire region miles around. Probably. As always, our troopers were more than well equipped for moving around all of the destruction and fire that we had caused, capturing a couple of Nightkin super mutants. As their old home burned, they would be getting on our ship so that we could take them to their new eternal home that they'll never ever leave. I must say, we were very eager to start performing some experiments on these fellows. They seemed much more durable than your average human, much more mutated and also much uglier as well, I must say. But my friends, with all of our rooms stocked to the brim with test subjects like Nightkin, humans, and even that Deathclaw that we got, I think, in episode 1 aboard the station, performing experiments as we so choose and collecting test subjects all willy-nilly, I think we're done. We've really achieved everything that we had set out to achieve throughout this series, setting up truly a hub for all of Zatankind in this system, and our proper studying station for all of humanity. We even managed to build our own fleet of ships with plenty of room to expand it, of course, making us the true and utter owners of the space around the planet itself. We have done quite a bit for ourselves, but worry ye not, my friends. Though this is something of a mini-series, I still have one last final mission that I will allow you to tag along with me on. But after this, I'm afraid it's all going to be classified Zatan Empire business, okay? Okay. Come on. You see, I am personally going to be escorting Rusty, our little inhabitant with a chip in his brain, back to the planet's surface. This is quite an important mission since he is going to be our longest running experiment. So I am personally going to be flying the ship myself so that I can ensure that there are no hangups or hiccups. And hey, what the are you doing? Hey, stop! Damn you, Rusty, I'm trying to fly the ship. Sit down, you stupid son of a... You absolute buffoon. You've completely thrown us off. Oh, this is real bad. Maybe if I could just... Nope, I'm missing a leg. I need to try to radio back to the... Hello there, Earthling. I come in peace?